Aged care in Australia is becoming a big issue because the population of over 85s is on the increase. In 2010, we had around 400,000 Australians over the age of 85. That's expected to increase to around 1.8 million by 2050. And from that, from age 65, there's around a 68% chance for women and 48% chance of men requiring some form of aged care assistance. Care options as people get older can fall into two key categories. The first would be helping people stay in their home, in-home support, and that can have varying degrees of support depending on that person's needs. The second is residential care, so your traditional aged care home, but again that can be packaged in different ways. In order to unlock aged care services, the first step is usually to get an ACAT assessment. That assessment is an assessment of both your cognitive and physical capabilities, also takes into account the support you have in your home and helps to understand what level of ongoing support you may need from that point. Once you receive that, you then have an understanding of what options are available to you. If you require residential care, then it will enable you to look at those facilities that you're most comfortable with. The option that's right for someone really depends on their own circumstances. It's really important to seek advice and understand which is going to be most suitable. Aged care costs can differ considerably depending on what support you require and also your own circumstances. So staying in your home, the government subsidise in addition to subsidising residential care. However, how much you'd be likely to pay is really dependent on the assets that you own, the income that's coming through, and your own family situation. We'd always suggest that you see a planner or seek financial advice to better understand what that might cost you before making your decisions. Paying for aged care services is a really common question that's asked. And that's because people believe that they need $500,000 or $1 million to move into an aged care facility. And the first is by a refundable accommodation deposit or a RAD, and that's where you need to come up with an amount that the aged care facility has set. If you don't have the means to do that, you might have to sell an asset to come up with that money. You can also pay what's known as a daily accommodation payment, which is really like an interest charge of the portion that you haven't paid to the home. The good news about aged care services is that the government do provide fully subsidised or fully supported places for people who don't have the means to come up with a lump sum to contribute to an aged care home. It's just that the choices available to you may be limited, and an aged care home may be some distance from your former home or away from where your family members live. The good news, however, is that the level of care you receive won't be compromised. Your financial situation is likely to change as a result of moving into an aged care facility. How much that's going to change is really dependent on what assets have been moved and your circumstances at the time. Aged care needs is a really complex topic, so it's important to get the right advice from people who know this well. At Statewide, we have financial planners who'll be able to handle all aspects of your aged care planning and assist you in making the right choices. If you need more information, one of our seminars is a really good place to start.
The advice in this video is general advice only. It may not be appropriate for you, and we recommend you obtain independent financial advice and consider the applicable PDS before making an investment decision. Past performance is not an indicator of future performance.